Welcome to the Master Passive Income Show. My name is Dustin Heiner, and I'm here to help you get financial independence. Quit that job, that just overbroke job, by investing in real estate so you never ever have to work a job again. And today I'm going to be giving you all the secret areas that my students are investing in to make passive income and cash flow every single month from our rental properties. I'm going to give you the specific cities and even how to invest for maximum profit. All right, let's start the show.
Welcome to the Master Passive Income Podcast, where we talk about investing in real estate with a special focus on making enough money so you can quit your job and live the dream life. And now, here is your host, Dustin Heiner.
Hey, what's going on? I am super glad, as always, to have you here on the show. Now, it is so much fun to have the podcast and to be able to talk to you like literally week in and week out. But now I also want you to connect with me. I've actually been starting to do some Twitter and some Instagram stuff. Barely social media. That's a thing. People use social media. No, I'm just joking. So I've been actually doing a lot more on Instagram, putting a lot of content out there on how to invest in real estate, making some fun, awesome videos like short skits that are pretty creative. They're kind of fun, but definitely check those out. You're going to enjoy them on Instagram, the Dustin Heiner, THE Dustin Heiner. You can always, DM me. I actually enjoy getting DMs. Let me know how you are doing in your investing. Also on Twitter, I'm Dustin Heiner on Twitter. So I'm starting to do that stuff. So I love connecting with you guys. Now, I've been saying this for a little while, that our inflation, our job numbers, like all the stuff that we're hearing about the economy right now, it seems like, hey, everything's great. I remember back in 2009 when the market crashed, it was horrible. Everybody's literally screaming, the sky's falling, which, man, it was really, really bad back then. You don't hear any of that right now. You hear like everything's fantastic. The stock market's taking off. Like you're hearing lots of great stuff, but if you are really listening and watching for certain signs of what's actually going on in the economy, you're going to see some cracks. And my goal right now literally is to share with you that you need to be prepared for some tough times again ahead. I mean, back when COVID happened, that was a little bit of tough times, but honestly, I think it might be pretty bad. And what's also happening is that the government is actually, it seems like they're deceiving us. Let me explain how. I said this about, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, how the government comes out and they put out a number for a certain thing, which I'll go through in just a second. They'll give it out and say, this is it. And oh, great, the market looks good. So people start investing more, people start spending money. Recently, last week, our government came out and said the job numbers are up. Basically, the economy's looking better and everything's looking really, really good. But here's what's interesting. October of this year, 2023, October of 2023, job reports were revised lower. And I talked to you about that. So they came out, they said they were overstated by 25%. So they came out and said, hey, the market's going great. Our economy's going really good. We have a lot of employees, but they overshot it by 25%. On top of that, I'm not the biggest fan of the government. I don't think they spend my or your money very wisely. So, of all those jobs they said they created, 25% of those jobs were government jobs. Basically, the government doesn't produce anything. They literally just take. So, think about that. 25% of all the jobs that were created in the last, couple months, it was 25% was for the government, which just takes more money. Now, also, part-time jobs are up. 762,000 part-time jobs. So people, they need more money. Maybe they get work in one job and they need to actually get a second job because inflation is just crushing us. I've been talking about inflation for a while, how every single month it seems like inflation keeps going up. And year over year, inflation is like 20 or 30%. Just look at your grocery bill. Just look at your taxes and insurance. My goodness, my insurance doubled on one of my Houston properties. It was crazy. That's a little more circumstances with a lot of, like Florida properties with damage from storms and everything like that, that it pulls together the insurance money from all the properties. So that goes into it. But at the same time, costs are really huge. And with that, the full-time jobs are down. People working full-time jobs, there's so many less, 1.5 million, but those part-time jobs are up. So maybe they got laid off from a full-time job and they have to get a part-time job, or they have a full-time job, they can't make enough money, so they got to get a part-time job. And here's another crazy thing. Earnings have fallen below 2021 levels. So back in 2021, that's the amount of money that people are on average are making, but inflation is still high. But here's the worst part about it. Our government tells one thing and then 2 months later reverses it, or not reverses it, but like revises it and changes it to where if they originally put out that number the first time, it would have looked really, really bad. So the reason why I tell you this, two different things. Number one, you need to be prepared for a downturn. Now, if it never happens, then praise the Lord, great, you're going to be fantastic and you're prepared for nothing, which is fine because you can use that money to invest. But here's a big thing. What if it was another correction or another crash, or there's something big coming on the horizon, like we might be going over a cliff? Well, you want to be ready. So that's my suggestion. Number one, what does that look like? It means saving money, pulling money out of the bank, holding in cash, buying gold and silver, guns and ammo, like physical, tangible things. Real estate, buying that's also really, really amazing as well. And on top of that, learning how to invest and actually investing in real estate is going to be one of the best things that you can ever do right now. Now, I believe right now is the best time ever to invest in real estate. In fact, I'll say this, every time has the best time ever. Like right now is literally the best time ever to invest in real estate. Now, I'll say this. When is the absolute best time? It was 20 years ago. Well, the next best time is literally today. Now, on top of that, if there is a correction and if there is a crash in the real estate market, for us as real estate investors, we're going to be so well off. And when people are selling, we need to be buying. What's going to happen if there is a market correction or crash? You need to be ready. So number one, you need to learn how to invest. Number two, you need to be actually investing. Number three, you need to have connections for investing. Number four, you need to have money for investing. All these things, and plus number five, building the business, making sure that it's all there. And it's like this. If you're going to go surfing, surfing in the ocean, you get on a board and paddle really hard and catch a wave. Well, the reason why you paddle really hard is so you get momentum and the wave catches you because you're already being moved by your own momentum that you're paddling. And then the wave catches you and picks you up. If you don't paddle, the wave will literally just pass by you or crash on top of you. Trust me, I've done it before. I almost drowned one time surfing in Black's Beach. I got turned over and over and over, and I literally thought I might die right now. I was under the water that long. Now with that, we don't want to have that happen to we're almost going to die. What we do want is be prepared. We want to start paddling before that wave even comes close to us so we have lots of momentum to be able to pick us up and take us all the way in. Same thing with real estate investing. You need to have that momentum. If you don't have education, you're not going to have momentum. If you don't have the business built, you don't have momentum. If you don't have connections, if you don't have the money to invest, if you don't already invest, you're not going to have the momentum. So get investing right now. Now, in today's show, I am absolutely excited to be sharing with you where my students are investing in real estate. I am literally going to give you the awesome areas that are working really, really well for my students. And I want to pause for a quick second and share that honestly, I really want you to invest in real estate. Now, my new goal is to help 1 million people invest in real estate. So two things I would ask from you. Number one, if you get anything out of this episode, please share it with somebody else. Just say, hey, check out Dustin and Master Passive Income. He really wants to help 1 million people to invest in real estate. That's number one. Number two, I want to get you to invest in real estate. Get my real estate investing course absolutely for free. Text the word rental, RENTAL, to 33777. Rental to 33777. I'll literally give you my course, show you how to find an area of the country to invest, how to build the business first. I always talk about that, and how to find the right properties, how to make sure you're getting experts to do the work for you, and scale the business to where you're making $250 or more in passive income. Scale it to quit your job. I'll literally get to you, or go to masterpassiveincome.com/free course. Obviously, it'll be in the description, but I really, really want you to invest in real estate because the more that actual, normal, everyday people own real estate that are good landlords, the better everybody's life gets. Where do we invest this year, this brand new year that we're starting out? Where do we invest? Well, I'll be absolutely honest and say you do not need to invest in real estate in your backyard. Like, you don't need to make sure that you can drive to this location, maybe invest 30 minutes away, 2 hours away. In fact, where we invest in real estate, we don't even ever see the property even before we buy it, let alone after we buy it. We hire experts to do all this work. And now we're going to talk about today, where is the best place to actually invest in real estate? Where are my students buying rental properties? Where are we seeing the best success for real estate investing? Now, as we're getting this brand new year, I want to share with you the best places. The first best place. Let's make this year your best real estate investing year ever by coming to the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference. And the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference is where you can join hundreds of real estate investors and over 40 expert investor speakers and learn how to have an amazing success in your real estate investing business. The Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference is not like any other conference out there. This is a no sales pitch conference where the entire 3 days event is all about you and helping you to meet expert investors, teaching you how to invest and join a huge community of hundreds of like-minded real estate investors. And because you are a part of the Master Passive Income podcast, I'm giving you 20% off your Rubicon Pass. That's right. Get 20% off of your Rubicon Pass by using the promo code MPI20, MPI20. You need to be at the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference. Join us in the heart of downtown St. Louis, March 14th through the 16th for a transformative 3-day event that's more than just a conference. It's a community of investors. Get your pass. Go to Rubicon.com, REWBCON.com, and use the promo code MPI20 to get 20% off of your Rubicon Pass. Is Birmingham, Alabama. My students are investing in Birmingham, Alabama. We're finding great rental properties that make us a minimum of $250 a month in passive income. Now, there's so many great things about Birmingham, Alabama. Everything from the population increasing, crime is relatively low. We can buy decent properties at a lower price, but then at the same time have high rents. That is the best thing about having out-of-state investing, away from where you live. Like if you live on the East and West Coast, where it's really, really expensive to live, well, in the Midwest is absolutely fantastic. So the first area that I have my students look at is Birmingham, Alabama. Go look for properties, and I'll give you the criteria of the type of property that you want to be looking for. This is what we do here at Master Passive Income, the cookie cutter type home. 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,200 to 1,500 square feet. We don't want it too big that it's going to be a lot of extra paint on the walls, extra toilets, extra everything to clean up and fix. But we also don't want it too small where families don't want to rent. We want to have tenants in there, families that they live in there year after year after year, where the family, the mom and dad work in the area, the kids go to school in the area, the church is right in the same neighborhood. So we want these homes that people want to rent. Now, the first place, like I said, is Birmingham, Alabama. You start looking at good cities. Now, I'm going to tell you, out of all these cities, there are bad areas of the city, or not the best areas. I wouldn't say bad, but not the best ones. Now, my suggestion, check out all the videos on my YouTube channel, check all the podcasts, all the articles that I've written on how to find great areas, but also you want to learn how to build the business first. If you don't build the business first, which means you get the experts in that area to do the work for you, then you're actually going to be losing so much money because you're not going to be doing it the right way. Get my free real estate investing course. Check the link in description, masterpassiveincome.com/free course. I'll literally give it to you, or you can text the word rental to 33777. I'll literally give you my free real estate investing course, rental to 33777, but link will be in the description. With that, the next city that I find my students are doing really, really great in is Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Missouri is actually doing really, really well. On top of that, I'll give you another side one, is St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis and Kansas City, now these are Midwest properties. Prices are much lower than you would expect, and the rents will be higher. Now, in both of these cities, I give you literally 2 cities right in one, you have Kansas City, Missouri, and St. Louis, Missouri. They are both really, really great areas for you to invest, where you're going to buy a home for, let's say, $100,000. And with that $100,000, you will also be able to rent it enough to where you're making money in passive income. And our suggestion here at Master Passive Income is to make $250 or more from every single property that you make. So you calculate all of your expenses, you take your income, which is how much you could rent the property for, and you deduct the two. So the difference is your passive income. Once you start figuring out your expenses, then you get your experts to tell you how much you could rent the property for. Then you make an extra $250 a month. Well, that's $3,000 a year without working. That's passive income. 10 properties at $250 a month, that's $2,500 a month. That's $30,000 a year without working. 20 properties is $60,000 a year or $5,000 a month in passive income. So we got Birmingham, Alabama. We also have Kansas City, Missouri. We also have St. Louis, Missouri. These are all great cities for you to invest in. Next up is Indianapolis, Indiana, a great place. Actually, my students have been investing there for a little while now. And when you're finding these properties, you're going to have some rougher areas. But what you do is you have your property managers and your realtors, your contractors, all these experts. Remember, I said we build the business first. When we build the business, we ask them first, where is the best place or the best area in the city? What are the better zip codes? What are the, northwest, northeast, wherever it is? Help me to understand where the best places are to invest. Now, in Indianapolis, there are some rougher areas. In fact, all of these cities that I'm mentioning, there are going to be rough areas, higher crime, lots of turnover, harder to find property managers for those areas. So you're going to have to do your due diligence. And my suggestion is building the business, finding the right property managers. Because if your property manager is not going to be managing your property, then you no longer have an asset anymore. You have a liability because you have to manage yourself. And you might have a job, you have kids, and you want to make sure you're taking care of everything in your family. Well, you want to hire other people, the experts, to tell you, hey, this is a bad area, this is a good area, that's a good property, that's a bad property. On top of that, your property manager is going to let you know how much they can rent it for. If you think you could rent it for $1,500, but you could only rent it for $1,200 or $1,200, well, you will actually be losing money. So what we do as real estate investor here at Master Passive Income, we build the business, get the experts to actually do the work for us first. And the next city that is really, really good for my students is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now, it's a little colder up there, just like another city we're going to talk about in Ohio. But when you're investing in certain areas that are a little colder, you have the little nuances of what you're going to do with the weather. Because when it gets cold in Ohio and Wisconsin, people don't really move. So my suggestion is once October gets around and you don't have a property rented, lower that rental price so that you can get a tenant in there, because you do not want a vacant property over the winter. Now, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, you're going to have a lot of great properties in there. And you have to realize that there's a bunch of weather factors that you're going to have to worry about or be considerate of. Like the painting, you have to paint the walls, the outside walls more often, because like in Arizona, where I personally live and invest, we have more fading, like the paint fades and it doesn't look as good. But in the Midwest and obviously in the Northeast, you're going to have a lot more cold where the paint starts to flake and chip off. So you have to scrape those down and paint them up. So I've actually had cities, my city where I invest in, come by and tell me, well, hey, this property has too much flaking paint. You actually need to scrape all that off and paint it brand new. So when you're investing in these winter type areas, these cold type of cities, you want to make sure that you have these types of things going on in your mind. Like tenants don't like to move in the winter. They love to move in the summer. Lots of them move in the summer, as well as painting, making sure that your pipes don't freeze and all that good stuff. And the next city that my students have been doing amazing work in is Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee. Now, not everybody is going to live in every single one of these cities. Like, you might not even care to visit these cities. Any of these cities that I'm mentioning, you might not care to even visit them. You probably wouldn't even want to live there, but other people will. I'm not saying anything bad about them. Just realize the mindset of an investor. We build a business, and that business has inventory. In Memphis, Tennessee, there is lots and lots of inventory. In fact, one of my students, Benjamin, in 2 years, he bought 22 units, 11 duplexes, 22 units, and was making like $8,000 a month in passive income in just 2 years. Imagine being able to do that in anywhere in the country, and you don't have to be able to drive to, but you hire experts and then they do the work for you. So next up is Memphis, Tennessee, where you are going to be able to find really inexpensive properties, but then also have decent rents, where if you take care of the property, take care of the tenants, you're going to be making a lot of money in passive income. Now, the next one that my students are finding a lot of great properties would be Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, Ohio is actually doing a very, very good job of having really, really low prices, as well as rents are considerably higher compared to the price of the homes. So what my students are doing is we're finding homes that they can buy and fix up and rent out for $250 a month more in passive income. Now, all over Ohio, you're going to find lots of great little pockets or little cities that you're going to want to invest in. I'll give you another one in Ohio. So first is Dayton, Ohio. It's a really, really good place, good area to invest. Next one is Canton, Ohio. Canton, Ohio is also doing very, very well for my students. There's a lot of great things going on in Canton, Ohio, from attractions to people going in there. We have Airbnb. Some of my students have Airbnbs there as well, short-term properties. And with that, we make more money every single month because we're renting it per day instead of per month or per year. What happens then is we have these cities that in Ohio, we're actually making more and more money comparatively. Like if you invested in San Francisco, bought a house in San Francisco, you can't rent it to make passive income. It's going to be very, very hard. But in places like Dayton and Canton, Ohio, you're going to have great success there. And the next city is Hammond, Indiana. Now, you can buy properties as little as $100,000 and make $250 or more in passive income. And remember, just because you're not going to want to live there, you might not, but other people absolutely will. So what we do is we buy these properties, fix them up, get experts to do all the work for us, and then rent them out for passive income. Hammond, Indiana, we are having great success there because you're finding lower priced homes. They're not like the $20,000 homes, but they're $100,000 to $125,000, maybe even $150,000, and you're still making great money in passive income. Another great city that we are finding good success in is Adamsville, Alabama. It's a little smaller of a city. Birmingham is a much bigger city, one of our other cities that we talked about here. Now, Adamsville, Alabama, you're also going to find really, really good homes. You're probably going to find $135,000 homes that you're going to be able to rent and get passive income. Now, these homes, you're going to have bricks, probably brick exteriors. You're going to have a lot of great tenants in there, and it's a little smaller. So the little caveat is you're going to have to do a little extra work to make sure you find the right property managers. You're going to have to do a little extra work to find the right inventory, because what we do here at Master Passive Income is we find a city that we want to invest in. And with that city, we also make sure that we have the entire business built out. We want to make sure we have enough property managers. Well, if you think about this, if a city is very, very small with a lot of few rental properties, or really just few homes in general that people would want to buy and rent, well, then you have fewer property managers. In bigger cities, you have a lot more property managers to choose from, which makes it easier on you to find one that fits you. I kid you not. My students, we've had, hundreds and thousands of students now. When we go and find a city, it's really hard to find the right property manager for us. We interview 5, 10, 15 property managers, as many property managers as it takes before we find the right one that fits into our business, that we can make sure that we trust, they can communicate well with us, and we can allow them to make us money, which is the most beautiful thing. Now, in all of these cities, when we're investing out of state, we want to make sure that we don't lose money on any of these properties. Now, properties, what happens is we hire the experts. They make sure we know how much it's going to cost to fix up. We make sure we know how much it's going to be able to rent for, what our expenses are, so that before we even buy a property, we know what to expect. Just like if you're going to build a business where you're selling candy bars. If you're selling a candy bar for $1 and you knew every day you can sell it without a shadow of a doubt, you could sell it for $1. And if you can buy that same candy bar for 50 cents, well, you'd make 50 cents from every single candy bar. You would absolutely do this. You do it all day, every day. Well, what if you did not actually sell it for $1, but you sold it for 25 cents? You bought it for 50 cents, but you could only sell it for 25 cents. You would be losing money, losing 25 cents every single month. We as investors, we look at our properties as inventory. Every single one of these cities, in fact, anywhere that you invest, even if it's your own city that you live in, consider that inventory. This is not a property that you're going to fall in love with. This is, unless it is, and you're going to move into it. But other than that, what you're going to do is you're going to view it as inventory that other people will utilize until they move out, and then you get it fixed up and put somebody else in there. And let's go through those really quick. We have Birmingham, Alabama. We also have Canton, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio. We have Kansas City, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. We have Adamsville, Alabama, Indianapolis, Indiana, Memphis, Tennessee. So many great cities. But if you could see where these are in the Midwest. We even have students investing in Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, like in the Southeast. We're also investing there. But if you look about the Midwest is still a fantastic area of the country. So you guys get out there, start investing, use this list, start finding the properties, build the business first, and become super successful investing in real estate. We'll see you guys in the next one. And that is it for today. Go ahead and get my free real estate investing course. Text the word rental to 33777, RENTAL to 33777. You can also join my Real Estate Wealth Builders group coaching. Get all my courses. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next show. See ya.